Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a video that I've been kind of wanting to do for a while. I saw a few videos about the person who I'm going to be talking about today, and I decided that I kind of wanted to do a video, but then I watched a recent video of hers and I decided that I definitely want to make a video and just kind of give my thoughts about this person, because I feel like she's become more and more controversial in a way. It's a weird thing with her, but I just want to talk about her and see what everyone else's opinion is. Today I'm going to be talking about Best Dressed on YouTube. That's her YouTube channel name. Her name is actually Ashley, and I will be referring to her as Ashley throughout the video, but her YouTube channel is Best Dressed if you've seen it or are subscribed or anything like that. But yeah, that's who I'm going to be talking about today. But before I do get into it, please go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, turn on the post notifications so that you're notified of the next time that I post a video, and follow me on Twitter. I have a Twitter now, and I will leave my Twitter in the description below, so you can follow me on Twitter. We can talk and it'll be a fun time. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. So just a little background about Best Dressed if you don't know who she is or if you don't know much about her. Again, her name is Ashley. She is 22 years old and she is a graduate of UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. And she has a film degree. I'm pretty sure she was a film major, so that's really cool. You don't see many YouTubers who are film majors, so I think that has a lot to do with her content and how her content is structured and how well she's doing on YouTube. And she does fashion, lifestyle, vlogging type content. So her content, you can see from her channel name, it's called Best Dressed. Her content is mostly surrounding fashion, but she does just a lot of different types of content in that realm. So I think that her target audience is definitely like young girls around her age, Gen Z type girls, probably younger, or college age type girls, which I also think is important to understand, is like, who is this content targeting, and who is this person influencing. So like I mentioned earlier, Ashley is a film major. That was her major in college, which UCLA, by the way, is an amazing school. So to get in is just incredible. And then to also, do film, and that's just in LA, that's definitely a great accomplishment. And you can see through her videos that she's a film major. Her videos are very, very well produced. That is something that no one can take away from her, is that her content is very good. I think that was what drew me to Ashley. I started watching her content at the beginning of quarantine. I was just looking for content to watch, and I've always really loved fashion videos, and I wanted to get more into fashion, and I started watching her videos, and I was just really, really blown away and impressed by how well made her videos are. And I think that is what draws a lot of people to her. She has 3 million subscribers, and almost every single one of her videos hits like 1 million views. So she does very well in that department with getting people to watch her content because it is genuinely good. However, recently, Ashley has been getting some backlash. It's almost like a little rumbling underneath the surface of everything that's going well for her. A lot of people have become kind of disgruntled with her. And it's not even about much of her content, but it's really what she says in her videos that people are kind of starting to dislike. I've seen a few videos about her, and when I saw the first video, I didn't even know that I felt that way until someone really said it. And recently, a lot of people have been just making videos and kind of saying a few things about Ashley that they feel aren't necessarily problematic, but maybe off-putting. Some things could be seen as problematic, but I'm just going to give you my perspective and kind of give you what people say about her, maybe things that I personally think, and then let you kind of decide how you feel and if you've had these same feelings about her, if you've watched her. So something that I noticed that I'm not sure that a lot of people have noticed, but I've definitely noticed and is a little bit off-putting for me, is the immense amount of self-deprecating humor. It's just a lot. Like in every video, like she just talks, it's just a lot of self-deprecating humor, which self-deprecating humor is, I mean, everyone does it. It's not something that is like problematic or anything like that, but it's a little off-putting because it can come off as a little too try hard and a little too like you want to be relatable too badly. And I think that that's what a lot of YouTubers kind of, I mean, that's why I can't watch like Emma Chamberlain, because it's just too much self-deprecating humor. And it's weird because there are so many people that look up to you, right? And so there's so many people that look up to you. They're watching your videos. You have millions of subscribers. People want your life, especially Ashley's. Like, she has amazing fashion and she lives in New York and she has this cool apartment and all of these different things. And she's a UCLA grad and she's young and she's just doing a lot of things that a lot of people want to do. And then she comes on camera and she's just doing a lot of self-deprecating humor. And it's like, you're not relatable. Like, you have an amazing life. We want your life. And even though I think that that's more on like the audience's fault, and that's probably more my fault for even being off-put by it, it is off-putting. And I think that there's something to say about like influencers and celebrities trying to come off as too relatable by using self-deprecating humor, because it's just like, are you relatable? Like, it's just kind of weird. And again, I don't necessarily fault Ashley for using self-deprecating humor, because people see themselves differently than how other people see them, obviously. But like, as someone looking in, you're just kind of like, oh, sure, your life sucks. And that's a horrible way to think. I'm not gonna lie. But like, it just is what it is. And I think that people give the same treatment to like Kim Kardashian. And even though obviously she has boatloads of more money than Ashley does, like, Ashley is definitely in a place of privilege and in a place that a lot of other people definitely are not at her age. And so it's just like, you see her target audience, most of her target audience is not in the same position that she's in. And so to hear her use that kind of humor is like, ooh, okay, like, sure, your life sucks. That might sound horrible, and I really don't, but it just is what it is. And I think that that's one of the reasons why people are kind of having a problem with her, or at least something that has been off-putting for me personally. The next thing, which is also just something that's more of like personal preference in people that you watch and people that you follow as influencers, and it's something that I actually found on a Reddit forum that I had like written down in my notes preparing for this video, but then I saw someone else mention it, and I kind of just have been like looking at her Reddit a little bit, and I've noticed other people mentioning this, but she does use a lot of explicit humor and talk about a lot of explicit things, and I think that she's mentioned before why she does that, but me personally, I would not at all. And I think that a lot of people that watch her might feel off-put by that, just because it's like, where does this fit into the type of content that you're making? I think that it really boils down to the type of content that she makes versus the type of comments that she makes in her content are kind of disjointed a little bit, because the very explicit humor that she uses sometimes, it doesn't really fit into the kind of cookie cutter fashion blogger type content that she seemingly makes, but then when you actually watch it, it's a little more personalized to her. But I think that can be off-putting to a lot of people who are looking for just someone who does fashion instead of someone who talks about like explicit rendezvous and things of that nature. Like, it kind of gives a little bit of a weird vibe for some people who might not really want that type of content or might not really look for that. And again, I don't think that that's something that makes her problematic at all. But I think that there are a lot of people who just simply don't like that, and therefore they nitpick her because of that reason. Now, there are a few criticisms of Ashley that I believe are very valid, and reasons why I haven't really been watching her content as much as I did when I first found her. When I first found her, I binged her content. And I was starting to feel a little bit kind of off put by her content, but I was still watching it because it is very good content, and she gives, her videos are really good. I'm not going to lie, but I think that certain things that she says come off as hypocritical. And a lot of people have found fault in the fact that she has a very indulgent lifestyle for someone who preaches about eco-friendliness and sustainability. She talks about sustainability a lot in her videos and things of that nature, but then she proceeds to buy fast fashion. And it's just kind of like what do you truly believe? Especially for someone who seems to be so educated about the topic, to then turn around and then, promote something from this fast fashion brand or that fast fashion brand, or, to do an unboxing and you have all of these boxes and things like that. And it's just, she lives a very indulgent life. And I think that can rub a lot of people the wrong way, because when you're preaching at a lot of people who don't have the same resources that you do to be sustainable in the first place, a lot of the people that watch her are literally like 16-year-old, and they don't really control a lot of what they indulge in. They can't really control much of their carbon footprint. And other people who, have a lot less money than she does can't really afford to go to, more sustainable brands because they literally don't have that money. One thing I think that Ashley does very well is promote thrifting, because that's just the most sustainable way to shop. So I think that that's awesome and amazing. But at the same time, it's like, she just has so much stuff. You know what I'm saying? Her closet is so huge that you're like, are you really sustainable, or are you just preaching that? And one thing that I found very interesting is that when I was watching her most recent video, which is her apartment tour video, she mentioned that. And I feel like she's been listening and seeing what people have been saying about her in the past few months, and taking that to heart and like trying to mention why she does certain things. She talked about in her last video that she would really love to be a minimalist, but she also loves clothes. So she just wants to buy clothing, which, by the way, I think is completely valid. I'm not the type of person to police how people spend their money, especially if they're spending it on things as, like clothes, as trivial as clothes. And quite frankly, I personally believe that global warming and things of that nature are really due to big companies. So, Ashley having another skirt is not going to affect climate change the way that people have kind of been acting like it will. However, I think that influencers do need to understand that people will latch on to what you preach. And so if you preach sustainability and if you preach eco-friendliness and all of these different things, then you have to practice what you preach, or else people are going to be off put. And I think that I personally understand the complexities of, why she preaches sustainability, but then also gives into fast fashion or things like that. I understand why she does that, but a lot of people, especially a lot of younger people that watch her, might not, and might find that to, again, be off-putting. I think that Ashley gets a lot of hate from her own fan base, really, because she's moving more and more away from them as she gets bigger and bigger on YouTube, and as she gets more and more money. Like, she recently did a whole thing about Fashion Week, but a lot of people were kind of pointing out, well, you were so anti Fashion Week and so cynical, and yet now here you are. And I think that a lot of people are not ready to see her grow in the way that she is growing. And I think that is what hurts a lot of relatable YouTubers like Emma Chamberlain and like all of these different people. It's like you're put in a tough position where once you do get the money that you were making fun of, now you are doing the same things that you were making fun of other people for doing. And I think that that's just a testament to like humanity. I think that a lot of people that are criticizing Ashley for doing the things that she does with her money, for kind of living a more frivolous lifestyle, for having privilege but not really acknowledging it, if they had the same things that she had, would they act the same way that she acts? Probably. And so my thing is just about consistency. My thing is just about not being a hypocrite. My thing is just about not saying the right things just because you feel like you have to say the right things, but rather believing in what you believe and then putting that to practice. I feel like if Ashley did not talk about so many social issues in her videos, she would have a better time on YouTube. Why? Because it's kind of clear that, well, at least it looks like she doesn't actually care as much as her audience does. And so when she brings these things up, her audience feels like she's on the same side that they are, which she is in a way, but not as hardcore as they are. Like, if you have anti-capitalist rhetoric, but then proceed to like go and do like a whole haul of like all of these things that you bought from places that are mostly not thrift stores, it kind of sends a message that's very confusing. But the thing is that, at least for me, it's not that confusing, because I know so many people who are like that. I do, especially if you go to a big university with the way that I do. It's like a lot of these people of privilege meet people that are underprivileged, that are there on a scholarship, and they act like they can like feel them, and they act like they're on the same side. But then they go back to their summer home and it's just kind of like, are you on the same side, or are you just saying that because you want to fit in, because you want to have this cool relationship with someone that you wouldn't have had a relationship with in the suburbs? You know what I'm saying? I think that she's one of those types of people, and I don't want to put her in a box, because every single person is different and unique and has different and unique perspectives. But when looking at Ashley's privilege and looking at the things that she preaches, but then also looking at her videos and seeing what she makes videos about, it is clear that maybe she should just stick to the fashion. Maybe that's what she needs to stick to. And also, a side note, but I watched her video about the things that she didn't like about LA, and that made it even more clear to me that she was coming from a place of a lot of privilege, that she did not know everything about LA, and most people don't. But I have family from LA. I used to live there, and it's not as glamorous as she portrayed it to be, and the problems with LA are not what she claims them to be. It's not about fake friends and things like that. There are real issues in LA, like, I don't know, overpopulation in certain places, and in gentrification and gang violence, and just things that are like way deeper than what she talks about. And so it's kind of hard to hear someone talk about social issues who, when talking about the problems with LA, or at least the problems that she might have experienced, couldn't even dig deep into things that other people can easily identify. I think that it's so hard for people in this generation to live up to the expectations that others have set for them, because we feel like, oh, we're all in this together. We're all against the boomers, and we're all, we're all against our parents, and we're going to be the super liberal revolutionary generation. But I think that as we get older, we start to realize that we are just like our parents, and we are just like these boomers. And even though we have this cute little rhetoric about, social justice, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, we're still our parents, and we're still human. I don't know. This is such a long-winded explanation, because it's so hard to put your finger on what is really off-putting about Ashley. But I just know so many people who are like that. And so it's kind of hard to say that she's done anything really wrong, because she hasn't. And will I continue to watch her videos? Yes. Do I think that she should be canceled? No. But there are certain things about her that are just a little, you know, it just doesn't feel right coming from her. And certain things that she says, they just don't feel the best coming from her in her place of privilege without at least acknowledging it or anything of that nature. So yeah, that's my feelings about Ashley. That's the conversation that's been being had. And a lot of people have just, you know, continued to feel a little weary of following her and of, you know, supporting her with all of the things that she says that she kind of doesn't act upon. So that is it for me. Please enjoy this obligatory picture of Justin Bieber as I close out. But those are my thoughts about Ashley. I know that it's very kind of hard to figure out what I'm trying to say. I feel like I rambled a lot in this video, but at the same time, I meant every word that I said. And so I feel like if you get it and you watch her content, then you get exactly what I'm saying. But if you don't, I suggest to watch her content, especially if you like fashion videos and things like that. But I think that you should keep in mind the things that I said in this video so that maybe you're not as angry as a lot of people have become at her content. So yeah, I definitely would still support her just because I think that overall, like, her content is good, and her, you know, some of the things that she says is just like, okay, but not everyone is perfect and not everyone's going to be the perfect influencer. So I would just watch her videos with a grain of salt. That's what I would say. So yeah, that is the end of my video. If you did enjoy it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and comment down below what you think of Ashley, your opinions. Maybe you can word them better than how I worded my video. But yeah, I hope you understood what I was saying still. And please do subscribe to my channel and turn on the post notifications so that you're notified of the next time I post a video. And follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description below. And yeah, that is it for me. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.